Good morning or good afternoon. What a beautiful day. Albus is over there. About to listen to. This is week 7 of the Master Gardener class. So thank you for joining me today. We're going to be learning about soil management in residential areas and like gardens and landscapes. All right, soil management in residential landscapes, Tennessee Extension Master Gardeners, Intern Training Chapter 6. How does soil fill the role plants need? Provides physical support, holds water for plant uptake, holds nutrients for plant uptake, maintains air near roots for respiration, breaks down to release plant nutrients, and cycles nutrients. Learning objectives. Understand the soil functions that can be indicators of soil quality. Become familiar with soil attributes that can be improved with OM. Contrast methods of adding organic matter, that's OM, or altering soil attributes. Explain how to take soil sample and interpret a soil report. Be aware of different types of fertilizer materials and their benefits and limitations. Describe some common soil organisms that what supports them. So that is the objective today. That's what we're going to be learning. I want to encourage you to go to your wherever state, country, wherever you're watching this, um, a lab that test your soil. So this is what it would kind of look like. You can fill this up with soil, and we'll get into like how you do it. But this is like a box, and it folds, so you can put the sample in here. And then there's filled soil you can do, and then there's lawn and garden soil. So if you're a farmer, you'd probably want to do the field. If you're like residential, you'd want to do lawn and garden. And it tells you so much stuff like um, if it's acidic soil, alkaline soil. Um, and why is that important? Because a lot of plants, some plants like hydrangeas might need more acidic soil. And then there's plants that would like alkaline soil. The framework of our discussion: overview, soil quality, managing soil physical properties, managing soil chemical properties, and managing soil biological properties. What is soil quality? Supporting biological diversity, regulating the flow of water, serving as filtered buffer and degradation location, serving as both a reservoir and cycling area for nutrients, and providing support and physical stability for plants, animals, structures. And this is kind of what, like I was showing you, what a soil test would look like. The soil quality indicator, it's going to tell you the water holding capacity, bulk density, if there's earthworms, water infiltration, how much organic matter, and tell you about the soil structure. Overview of organic matter roles. Improve water holding capacity, basically kind of like drainage. Improve nutrient holding capacity, add nutrients and increase availability, like amendments. When you fertilize, the main things are NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And if your soil lacks that, you know what to add. And there's other micronutrients too, like magnesium and phosphorus, iron, and the like. Well, that there's a long list. Soil structure and water impacts aeration, infiltration, runoff, water movement, water holding capacity, soil biology. In practice, so you can tell this picture shows a looser soil, medium, and I think the on the right is a hard pan. And if you kind of tell this grass or whatever this is grown in, the roots on the left picture are way down And then the roots in the middle picture, they're maybe halfway. And then the roots on the right, it's so hard, the roots can't even grow. So obviously, the one on the left is preferred. Healthy soil structures, infiltration. See all the pores. It's a movement of water into the soil from the ground surface, dependent of texture and structure. Compaction. That's kind of what we were looking at. Construction equipment, working soil to the same depth, and working soil when wet. You don't want to work a soil when it's wet. You'll have concrete after it dries. Compacted soil structure. See the water, it can't go anywhere, which the roots, they're when they're spreading, they're looking for water. So if the water can't spread out, the roots can't spread out, then the plant will dry up. What is man's impact on soil? Removing topsoil, compaction, increasing erosion, reducing organic matter, soil pollution, and reduced infiltration equals runoff. Um, if you've been watching the news, if you're in my country, um, we just have a devastating hurricane that has wrecked the east, especially like North Carolina, and a lot of that was runoff water. So you think your site soil is not ideal? Soil test, soil test, soil test. You listen, soil test. Organic matter additions, site management, surface cover to reduce erosion, etc. Amend soil, pH, nutrients. Kind of just talked about that. And raised beds, containers, soil lists. That is a really good um, way, y'all. If you don't, if you're, I have two raised beds, and that's a good way to kind of be in control, regulate what kind of, like, if you want to use like container mix, potting mix, a container mix, and then you can amend whatever you need. If you're doing like tomatoes, vegetables, you know what kind of nutrients to put in there, and it's a really good way. I encourage you to have some raised beds, containers, anything like that. Soil description discussion. Pull examples of soil profiles from local county soil reports for discussion. That was just for us a little bit, and we got to look at soil tests. It was like this, but it's already kind of filled out. So we looked at the reports and what kind of challenges in urban areas, what are listed in common uses, and what are listed as limitations. And here's like a little bit about it. The soil result, what it will tell you, like their soil pH was 7.12, so that means it's alkaline. Neutral is, alkaline is also called basic. Um, Neutral is 7, and anything below that is acidic. So it tells you your phosphorus, potassium, carbon, magnesium, zinc, iron, manganese, boron, and sodium. And it tells you if you're low on it, if you're sufficient, and any additional test there. That's really cool. Very, very helpful. If you love a plant and every year you keep trying, and it's dying, well, this is like a foolproof. It'll tell you exactly what's going on. Methods: cover crops and green manures, manure, compost, soil conditioners, ditches or tile, erosion, and tillage. Cover crops, grasses, rye, wheat, barley, and oats, useful for many, are simple to establish, high biomass, lots of residue, slower breakdown, prevent erosion, often outcompete weeds. Cover crops: legumes, crimson clover, hairy vetch, field peas, useful for um, future crops, weed suppression and erosion control vary, and then summer annuals as well. They're actually good cover crops. Cover crops. Another is buckwheat. That one, summer annuals, non-legume, weed suppression, pollinator support. Cover crops, brassicas, mustards, and radish. Rapid fall growth and cover for erosion control, high biomass, and nutrient scavenging. Many other benefits. Organic matter, biological communities, nutrients, water holding capacity, not just for vegetable gardens. Think site preparation. Are there any drawbacks? Well, timing, equipment, and rotation. Manures, organic matter, and nutrients. Food safely risk near vegetables. Was composting hot enough? Composition like salts, immobilization, lots of straw. Food for crops, non-manure compost may be best. Compost. Controlled breakdown depends on composition, sufficient temperatures, oxygen, and water. Stable and mature. Be aware of potential for herbicides. Other soil conditioners. Materials used to improve physical properties. Peat, perlite, vermiculite, and sand. Can be useful, but be aware of cost and volumes needed. Do these practices help in the long run? So a lot of times if you buy Miracle Grow, you see these little uh, fine white little pebbles in there. Um, that's what those are, soil conditioners. So that's a row of crop, and obviously they have a drainage problem because there's a pooling of water right there, probably from the rain, and that is really bad. It's too much water, as I like to say, too much love. And this is called tiling. Here. Here we go. Tiles and drainage ditches. Surface drainage diverts water. Water from saturated soil flows from them, used to lower a high water table. Water in pores and fine textured soil likely not impacted. Well, I think a lot of farmers here, I think it's called like a floodplain, a flood zone. I'm not sure what they do, but they probably I think this might be an older technique. I'm not sure if people do tiles now. Leave it in the comments below. I'm not sure. I'd like to see it. Erosion. Erosion is soil loss. Wind, sandy, more common. Water, detachment, raindrop, and runoff. It's horrible. Preventing erosion. Covered soil protected from detached and runoff, mulches and plant cover, number one, and reducing slope and distance. Tillage in the garden and landscape. Tillage practices incorporate organic matter, control weeds, aerate compaction, increase warming, fine seedbed, quickens organic matter breakdown, brings up weed seeds, breaks soil aggregates, and reduce large pores and channels. And it comes back to soil structure. On the left, you have lower bulk density, lower weight, more pore spaces, and then there on the right, higher bulk density, higher weight, less pore space. Assessing our soil practical. Sample from locations randomly around the chosen area. Sample from 1 to 12 inches in depth, crop specific. Exclude plant material and debris. Mix well in a clean bucket. Air dry before mailing. And here's how to do it if you go around your house and your yard or lawn. For a small bed, take 5 to 10 samples. For a large area, 10 to 20. Taking a sample from a known problem area and comparing the results with results from good production areas can be helpful in diagnosing problems in plants. What does your soil test mean? Important pieces of information: water pH, estimate of pH in solution around soil particles, level of plant nutrients in the soil sample, and what we need to add to our soil to reach ideal ranges. If you list that your sample is from a garden, that recommendation will be in pounds, 1,000 square feet, instead of tons or acres, which is pretty useful. Managing soil pH. It's in many Tennessee soils, it's common to need to increase the pH of soil. We have acidic soil here. That is done following the lime recommendation from the soil test. Plant food, it's important to read your labels. It's labeled by law, percentage contained. NPK. Types of fertilizers. There's chemical, industrial processes, mined and mixed, blended or purified, and salts that dissolve. Types of fertilizers. Organic. Definition: previously living things, carbon, same nutrients. Labeled if sold as fertilizer. Speed of update and availability vary. And organic matter. Types of fertilizer. USDA organic. Legal definition by USDA. Often overlap with organic, compost, animal byproducts, and naturally mined. Formulations: granular, blended, homogenized, water soluble, liquid, and like slow release. Like I use the Espoma Biotone because it has the mycorrhizae. It's good for starting, and then like here in the fall, I will use either plant tone or garden tone. There's a lot of rose tone, polytone. There's a lot of Spelma fertilizers, and then like for my all my annuals, I'm mostly in the containers. I'll use the Proven Winners water soluble fertilizer. Incorporating fertilizers. Broadcast. Fertilizer is spread evenly across the area and then generally tilled. Banding. Fertilizer placed close to 4 inches to young plants and seeds but not touching. Side dressing. Fertilizer is generally placed alongside growing crops and raked into the soil and then watered in. This is a diagram. It just shows water, airspace, sand. There's a silt, fungal hyphae, bacterium, clay organic matter, X. Bacteria. Teaspoon of soil contains between, I think that's 100 million and 1 billion. 4 functions: decomposers, mutualist, pathogens, and chemoautotrophs. Lots of connections of nitrogen. Nitrogen fixing bacteria, nitrifying bacteria, and denitrifying bacteria. Fungi. Largest in total biomass, more in woodland environments. Decomposers, mutualist, symbiotic, and they can be parasitic. Parasitic, that's what that looks like. Mycorrhizal fungi is symbiotic. Arthropods, shredders like millipedes, predators or spiders and centipedes, herbivores, root feeders, and fungal feeders, springtail. Role of arthropods: they shred organic matter, they mineralize nutrients, so it's easier for the plants to take, feed on and stimulate microbes, enhance aggregation, I'll kind of till it up for you, burrow and control pests. Earthworms, this is great. Mix and aggregate soil, stimulate microbial activity, provide channels, increase infiltration, and bury and shred residue. Supporting diversity in the soil, organic matter, range of food sources, consideration and tillage decisions, water-air relationships, mostly anaerobic, and then compaction. Soil stewardship impacts your vegetable garden. Organic matter, cover crops, compost like manures, crop residues, tillage, mulches, balanced nutrients, and management. Soil stewardship impacts your landscape beds, bed preparation, mulching, and organic matter management, irrigation practices, fertilization tactics, not over fertilization, correct timing. Soil stewardship impacts your home orchard, site selection, site preparation, cover crops, mulching, and nutrient management. Soil stewardship even impacts your fishing, prevention of erosion and fertilizer leaching, prevent um, yeah, eutrophication, turbidity, and sedimentation. And then this is our last slide, y'all. Summary and take home points. We want you to use information from our own site to apply what our soil needs to supply our crops for optimum productivity without loss of the environment. Improving our soil through organic matter additions will benefit physical and chemical properties that will have long-term dividends. And that brought us to the end of the class. Yay! Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you made it to the end. I was leaving class and I saw this beautiful sunset. So I'm going to leave you with this. So I will catch you on the next one. Bye, y'all.